Now, while most of the protests throughout Detroit have been peaceful, Mayor Mike Duggan says there is a troubling criminal element emerging that he believes is from outside the city of Detroit. 7 investigator Ross Jones is live where protesters are on the move in the city. Ross?
Carolyn, good evening. You are right. We are on the move. We are in Corktown right now. In fact, we're in the shadow of the Michigan Central train station, panning off to show you where this crowd has been moving. They are probably several hundred strong. And as nights 1, 2, and 3 began, night 4 has been very peaceful so far. Of course, the reason there was such a large presence here of police is because the nights have not always ended that way. A group of agitators has come from somewhere else. The city officials say 254 have been arrested over the last 3 nights, and only 72 of those live in Detroit. The rest came from other cities and, in some cases, other states.
It was a group that came armed with railroad spikes and fireworks concealed in boxes labeled as food.
After 3 nights of unrest throughout Detroit, more than 250 have been arrested. 110 of those came just last night, and today Detroit's mayor and police chief said nearly 80% detained were from outside Detroit.
The people we arrested came from Macomb Township and Harrison Township and Clinton Township. They came from Port Huron and Ann Arbor. They came from Brentville, Tennessee. I don't even know where that is. And from Washington, D.C.
While the bulk of the arrests, Chief James Craig said, are for things like disorderly conduct or curfew violations, a growing number are for violent attacks on officers. At least one person was arrested last night for felonious assault.
That criminal decided to do one thing: lit a firework and toss it at the car.
While he wouldn't go into detail, Chief Craig said this is part of an organized criminal element. Inside this protein bar box found last night, he said, were railroad spikes.
These were being propelled. Small bricks or boulders. Fireworks.
Very organized, small group of people who were instigating violence. They were giving the commands over the walkie-talkie that orchestrated the confrontation with the police at police headquarters.
No charges have been brought so far, but tonight the Wayne County Prosecutor's Office tells me they are reviewing possible charges for at least 2 cases. A spokeswoman would not tell me where those 2 individuals reside.
But make no mistake, it's not over. And believe me, our investigation of the group that is instigating this is not over. It is very intense.
Mayor Duggan saying earlier today, it is no surprise that Detroit has fared much better than other large cities through the first 3 nights of protests. That is because, he says, in Detroit we have a long history of celebrating and respecting protest. We do not celebrate or condone violence, which explains the police presence you see behind me. But again, so far on night 4 in Detroit, protests beginning very peaceful, very respectful. We'll see if that continues. We're live in Corktown tonight. I'm Ross Jones, 7 Action News.
A lot of people certainly hoping it will remain peaceful. We can't say that enough tonight, Ross. Thank you so much for the live report.